And welcome to the Circle of Love and Light. I'm your host, Dr. Jane Mountrose, and I'm here with my wonderful friend and co-host, Gretchen Comer. We're both people who've been on a spiritual journey for decades now as healers, coaches, and many more things. And we're continuously fascinated with the fact that there's always more to explore. Actually, we were just talking about how it's almost like we're overly excited because there are so many different things to explore, which may be part of the energy right now. And we'll go into that too. This week, we're going to engage in one of our most magical, mystical, and miraculous activities, which is seeking deeper meaning with an oracle reading. There's so much happening in this time of the Great Awakening and in each of our lives. And we find that it's so easy to tap into those mysteries with oracle readings. We've been using them more and more. So today we're going to focus on helping members of the circle to understand more about how they can attune themselves, or how you can attune yourselves to, and all of us, how we can attune ourselves to our highest good, and understand really what is valuable to us right now with so many things emerging. It's one of the fascinating things, and I think exciting things about having an oracle reading is that we don't have really much planned content. We're just going to see where it takes us as we kind of go into the unknown. We expect it to be lively with all the changes that we're going through. And also we're going to be doing, might call it a mystery meditation. We don't know what that's going to be either, because we don't know what we're going to discuss exactly. And that's part of the excitement. So as always, as we begin, we want to thank you for being with us, which reminds me, I need to bring over my, oops, now everything went funny. I want to bring over my comments area here. My screen went weird. I'm trying to fix it here. There we are. I have my chat up, and there's Lula. Hi, Lula. I meant to tell you, by the way, Gretchen, Lula's going to be with us in the circle next week. So yay, for everybody to know that we'll have the three of us together, which is wonderful, even more exciting. Anyhow, I want to thank you all for joining us and being emissaries of love and light for the world. I think at the time of the Great Awakening, you could say that that's a high calling for probably just about all of us, is to bring in more love, bring in more light. And then when we do that, we naturally radiate that out to the world. So thank you. I also want to remind you to say hi to us, as Lula did, if you're with us, and let us know where you're from. If you have any comments, any questions, whatever, we'll try to pay attention to all of that. Seems like my computer's working funny. Anyhow, to begin then, we also start with just taking a moment to breathe and bring our energy together. So we're going to just take a few nice breaths with the intention of elevating our spirits and bringing our energy more into the moment together. So we can just imagine breathing in the most amazingly beautiful love and light from the universe as you inhale. And as you exhale, just release anything that is not serving you in this moment. Taking a few of these beautiful nurturing breaths. And anytime you can just imagine taking in the most amazingly nurturing, beautiful breaths possible from the universe. It always seems to help. It feels wonderful. So with that, I'd like to turn to you, Gretchen, and ask you if you can start us out by sharing a bit of your perspective on seeking deeper meaning, and of course, oracles too, whatever comes to mind as being important now. So
sure. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, you were also speaking to the energy of this time of year too, and we touched on that a little bit in the last circle, and about how we have the energy of summer solstice coming in right now too. And it's, it's a very strong solar energy. The energy of the sun is increasing, and at summer solstice is kind of when it hits its peak or its zenith. And so there's a lot of active energy. I think people are feeling that right now. I know you and I have been talking about that. There might be a lot of creativity right now, little bursts of creativity. And we also have the new moon, which is also a time of new beginnings, starting new things, really planting your seeds for the future. So one of the wonderful things I feel about oracle cards is it aligns you with synchronicities. If you're someone that's not normally aware of synchronicities happening around you, I feel like oracle cards are a great way to kind of get you into understanding synchronicity. And I wanted to give an example. I did a reading the other day for myself, and I was using the Akashic Tarot, and I asked, because my life is changing right now and pretty drastically in the next week or so. And I was asking about, am I on the right track? And, what information do I need now to really help me take my next steps? And the Archangel Michael card fell out, which I thought was funny. And I called this jumper card.
Yeah.
Jump out and get your attention. And that's a beautiful card because that's really about helping you in the new beginning process. But I also chose the card that says on track. And I don't think it could have been any clearer for me, that I'm on the right track. And so that is an example of those synchronicities, that we may not be aware of, that the cards were being synchronous with what I was asking. And so it does kind of help you understand the different signs that life is giving you as you go through your day. And if it's something that you're not normally aware of, I feel like this is a good way to kind of start into recognizing synchronicities in your life, because there's so many wonderful things that can align us to where we're supposed to be in life. Are we on the right track? Are we on the right path? And the oracle cards are wonderful for that, because they really help you connect into a deeper part of yourself, as well as aligning with the higher realms and all of the spiritual support that we have as we go throughout life. And so for me, this was really important, because sometimes we just, I just needed a reassurance. I just needed something to reaffirm what my own guidance already telling me. And so the oracle card was able to do that. And I think right now the oracle cards are kind of lining up with the energy that's coming in too. And it's showing us that things are rebirthing, things are starting anew. The creativity is rising for a reason. We're creative beings. We're meant to create. We create our own lives. And so that helps us kind of align with all of the energy and that natural, what I like to call the natural rhythm of nature right now. We're following along with the cycles, the seasons, and with living in that natural rhythm. And I feel like the oracle cards are great for that. They can help us really kind of ground that information, ground that energy that comes from the season. So it just brings a new level of awareness, I feel, in our lives when we engage in using them. And pay attention to the jumper cards, because those are important too. The ones that like to jump out. But yeah, so there's lots of different ways to use it, like we've explained here. But for me, it really helps me realign with the synchronicities in my life.
Right. And it is, things can come that are completely unexpected from the oracle cards too, just as things can come up in our lives that are maybe mysterious to us or challenging to us. Actually, we had a nice circle last week, had a couple of special guests, and we talked about a lot about navigating through those times when your soul, or we also work with the Akashic records, that information is coming to you that is very challenging. Suggestions maybe about your direction. Like I know for many people, there are things like they're discovering that they can use light language, and that they can identify more about their soul's, their soul's origin, starseed origin, and your soul's origin in higher dimensions. There are so many things that can come up, and then we think, well, I must be crazy. People are going to think this is completely nuts. And turning to oracles and asking for insights on navigating through it, and validations, different things can really be helpful.
Mhm.
One, I think, well, two resources, or I guess there are more than two, but two that we access a lot. One Gretchen mentioned that came kind of synchronously today, uh, too, because of the season, is Archangel Michael connecting with the angels, because we can receive insights from them, and in a similar way from the enlightened masters who are reaching to us, from the higher realms, all of these different beings, and then just connecting with nature. If you look at the fire element, just explore what the fire element is. It actually is the energy that brings life into being. So if there's, in other words, if there's a seed, the fire element is the heat that actually allowed the seed to germinate. Um, and I think it's similar for the birth of children, the time when a woman is ovulating, and it's time to actually fertilize the egg, her temperature goes up, our temperature goes up. So there's heat involved, and Archangel Michael is the archangel associated with the fire element. So bringing him in at this time when seeds are being planted or have been planted and are germinating, and actually new things are emerging. Archangel Michael is a really wonderful resource.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want one line that it caught my eye when I chose that card is it says, this can be a cycle of increasing power, one where you feel your courage growing. And I feel like that's one of the things that Michael gifts us, is the courage and the strength to embrace the new change, to embrace this influx of energy, to embrace the energy of the new moon, which is new beginnings. And so that's a wonderful supportive energy that Michael brings to us. And I think that's just lovely. It's lovely to know that we have that support and that it's specific to our needs at this time, and that is synchronicity right there as well. But it's also, again, within that natural rhythm. If we just relax into the natural rhythms that nature's providing for us, we can see easily, what's possible in that time. So I just love that. Love that.
Yeah. And we just inviting Archangel Michael to join us, which we can do now. And I want people to know it's not like it's not like this big thing. People sometimes say you need to do all these different things to invite them in. I think you need to be coming from a heart-centered place with a pure intent, for sure. But then it's just a matter of what we can do is just invite Archangel Michael to join us and to make himself known to you in whatever way is right for you. It might be, you might see him in front of you. You can associate the color that is often mentioned, a beautiful electric blue color, surrounding yourself with that color. When you do that, you might feel the energy associated with Michael. You might feel that power and strength. He often is seen as carrying a sword, and passes the sword to us. We have also had the experience of, on a higher, kind of from a higher perspective, that the sword becomes a staff, and he can maybe share that with us. You may not see anything and just feel. You might not have either of those and just receive a message from him, like, I'm here with you now. And I want you to know that I'm always here with you and available to support you when you feel you need strength and protection and power. It is yours for the asking. I invite him to join me when I'm driving. I envision Michael and and having angels. I see angels on the four corners of the car, like keeping anything anything that might be approaching away. And it really makes me feel good. I'm not sure that we actually have to always ask. And that's another thing. You start thinking, well, gee, if I don't ask Archangel Michael to protect me, then am I, am I missing something? Then is something bad going to happen? I think we have to be careful not to be in that perspective about it either, just to know that we are always being protected. Our highest good is always being protected. So I think it is definitely an enhancement if we invite them to join us and we have that personal experience with them.
Absolutely. I think it's wonderful too, how much they believe in us.
Right.
Michael in particular is a wonderful archangel to work with because he's so strong in his belief in us more than
Right.
we probably are in ourselves.
Right.
Right. So it's wonderful to think that there is this beautiful being from a higher realm that has our back, that's right behind us, that's protecting us, and that believes in us. I think that's wonderful energy to cultivate and to invite in. Yeah.
Yeah. And Lula says, lovely hearing info about Archangel Michael. And she says, seeing you lifts my spirit. So same for us, I think, knowing that you're with us. And of course, it is that way. Just knowing that we're here for each other is valuable too, of course. So we haven't actually drawn any cards yet, but we decided ahead. We were thinking of drawing a card for an angel, but Archangel Michael had already stood out, I think, in both of our minds. So we didn't do that. We figured we would just go with the flow of things. So we're going to go now to actually something Lula recommended to both of us, the Work Your Light Oracle, and just ask us for something, and this is for everybody, that will help us to attune ourselves to our highest good in this time of the Great Awakening, and which is also the essence of what the Circle of Love and Light is about, connecting to our highest light and sharing it with the world. So here comes. Interesting. The card is called The Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe.
Lovely.
Let me see, I'm trying to get it away from my name so you can see. The Great Gathering. I like that. And I'm going to read a little bit about it from the book. This one, you have to look them up because they're not in alphabetical order. No, I'm not finding it. I know it must be here. Get grounded. That's not Great Gathering. Maybe it's not one of those. Let me go back here, see if I'm missing it. Now, let's see. There it is, right after the Council of Light. Page 96. For those who have the book. Okay, the Great Gathering. You are being called to let your intuition move you physically. You are connected to a group of souls who are weaving a web around the world. And as you travel and share your creation, something is being rethreaded. This card is an acknowledgement that you are either being called to connect with others who are like you at a soul level, or that you already are. You are being called to gather groups of people, either by leading them or becoming part of a group that can support you in your soul's personal mission. It's very powerful. You are part of a group of souls who agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, your ancestral line, and the planet, to raise consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. One of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call in your tribe by sharing your soul's voice and letting yourself be seen. When you share what is real and true for you, and you share medicine that you most need, those who are like you will gather around you. You are your tribe. They are just like you. And just as you are longing and searching for them, they're longing and searching for you too. That's pretty beautiful and on point
Right. Right.
for, I think, for us personally and for the circle. I feel like that's my vision of the circle for sure, is that we're here to support each other. Because I think, and this is something I've been thinking about quite a bit recently, this idea of having a family of a family of your choice, of people who are supportive of you and you can be supportive of them, isn't just an idea. It is, I think, a critically important part of the experience that we're having, that we can't do this alone, because part of the energy of it is about connectedness.
Right. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we're human in a physical body. Otherwise, we'd just be a ball of light bouncing around, you know.
Right.
We there's an importance to us being in a physical body and being able to have connection with other humans. I think it's really important that we're here being able to attract our soul tribe.
Right. Yeah. And Lula says, I have gotten that card frequently in last months. So she's part of it too. And it is, it is a voluntary thing. It is just sensing what has value for you and supporting it, and supporting those,
right.
and allowing yourself to be supported by those who are, to me, I call it my spiritual family. We all have a physical family, or most of mine has pretty much died off, but we have had, and even when they were alive, they weren't my spiritual family. In fact, they very much told me they weren't, because they were very critical of me. And when we're going through these things that I mentioned earlier, like, we're discovering that we have these gifts, and we think, well, what are people going to say about it if I share this gift? And then realizing, well, what if I don't share this gift? What does that mean to how I value myself and my path?
Right. Right. It's like dimming your light to make others feel comfortable. You know, we do that a little. As humans, we dampen it down a little bit because the light inside us is magnificent,
Mhm.
and it's scary sometimes to live in your magnificence. It's off-putting to people that have not discovered their own magnificence. So
Mhm.
that light, we often dim it, to make others feel more comfortable with us,
Mhm.
you know, our
Yeah.
uniqueness, our
Mhm.
uniqueness.
Right. And that's, then we think that it's going to be better, but it's interesting, because the safer choice now doesn't seem to work generally.
Right.
we're being we're being called toward that. Well, I start where I started at the beginning. I mentioned going into uncharted territory. We're being called into this mysterious unknown, um, and it is because of that that we need each other. We need the support of the masters, the angels, the oracles, all the tools, and that actually is what Archangel Metatron came to me. So now it's been a few years, but he said that it was time for me to access my full range of resources,
Mm,
and
right.
this is it.
Right. It reminds me of the Nelson Mandela speech. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically, it doesn't serve the world or yourself to play
Mhm.
small. For us to dim that light, to play small, to pretend that we're less than we are, doesn't help anybody.
Right, right, and it it isn't even. I think, other than maybe momentarily relieving yourself of the fear of the unknown,
Right.
it isn't at all satisfying.
Right. It's not a solution. It's not
No,
a
it
solution
doesn't
we can
work.
live with. Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful, beautiful message.
Mm-hmm.
Put this over
Absolutely.
here. And I have to mention,
There was
oh, go ahead.
Yes.
No, go
I was
ahead.
just going to say that I saw something the other day about, where are you planting your seeds? That's a good question to ask ourselves, because wherever we plant our seeds or wherever we're planting our energy is where it's going to grow. So if we're, constantly not living up to what we're supposed to be doing, or constantly putting ourselves aside where we're dimming our light, we're not gonna grow, and we're only gonna grow things in areas we don't want them to grow. So we
Mhm.
need to focus on where we're putting our energy, where we're putting our seeds, so to speak,
Right,
where we're planting them. Yeah.
right. And what gives us energy? Some years ago, just teaching the program that we teach in coaching and healing, um, I asked myself, well, how can I or we identify the single most important gauge of whether you're on the right track or not? And what came to mind, which I still feel is the best possible measurement, is aliveness. And it is
Mhm.
also, it resonates, the center of our being is right here in our heart area, and the thymus gland. It is the seat of our aliveness. So when we're following the things that really feed our soul, then we feel more alive when we're actually when we're trying to put out the flame, and put out the candle so it doesn't burn us or
Right.
something. Um, we don't feel very alive, and it has turned out to be a really powerful way of evaluating if you're on track or not on track. How alive does it make you feel if you give up on your dream? I know for anybody, just asking yourself that question, I can feel it's like, ooh, I can feel it.
Right. Yeah, I kind of
And
felt everything kind of close in.
right,
Yeah. It's like smaller and smaller and smaller and narrower. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And you can feel your posture starts to kind of sink. Well, it does, everything is connected and everything has meaning. So we're
Right.
receiving signs all the time. Here's Buddy again. Buddy says, I like feeling alive and excited about
Yeah,
life.
he's one of our co-hosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. He says, this really resonates with me.
Right.
Right, sweetie pie? Yes.
He says, that's what I've been trying to tell you.
Yeah. He comes to me with his bones and stuff, and it's like, he tries to tempt me with him so that he can run away and try to hide them from me. Right. Yeah. But it is a wonderful thing to keep in mind. And that's the fire,
Mm,
you know, it
right.
is the fire. So, anything you want to add before we do the meditation?
No, I think I feel that feels good. Yeah.
Okay. So, the natural thing from where we are at this point to me feels like going up to the mountaintop with Archangel Michael. And I think we could take the opportunity to release. um Lula says, I think about Buddy, the best co-host ever. Just to release, to allow ourselves to release. So I think I'll invite in Saint Germain also and the violet flame. We can release anything that is not serving us as we open to a fresh start with the new moon and the opportunity of the summer energy to fuel our greatest good. Okay, so you ready, Bud? He says, I love the meditations. Sometimes he'll be there and his head will kind of rest against my chest. He really gets into it. I don't know what he'll do today, but anyhow. Okay, so we can start as usual by closing our eyes. And again, just breathing in the most beautiful love and light from the universe, the most supportive, nurturing, wonderful, enlivening love and light. And as we do that, we can also become aware that there are many, many beings of light around us, which is another part of all of this, of these connections that are available to us. And as I say that, I just see all this light up there, lots of light supporting us. So breathing in that love and light, and as you exhale, allowing yourself to release anything that is not serving you right now, that you notice any tension in your body, just asking any energy that's not your own to go back where it came from so you can fill your own space with your energy, or fill your space with your own energy. And send it to any tension like in your shoulders or neck, anywhere in your body, where any place in your body that needs love, any place that you have not been loving. So just sending that love and light into all of the body, into all of the cells of the body. The cells love love. And asking also to bring any energy of your own that you've left in other times and places that you can bring back. Just ask it to come back now into your field. And you may notice as you do these things that you do feel sturdier and more present in the moment, like more of you is here, because it's true. More of us is here when we do these kinds of things, just energetically and intentionally bringing ourselves together in the moment. And then breathing in lighter energy. Now we can imagine going on a journey together. And of course, Archangel Michael is already with us, but we can remind ourselves that he's going to take the journey with us. And we're going to go to a very lofty, high up, mystical mountaintop. It may be even above the Earth's atmosphere, just the right place for you. Way up in the heights, of humanity, above the consensus reality that is wanting to drag us down. Just drifting beautifully up to this wonderful place. And I do feel it's kind of like one of those things going through the clouds so that you're on top of the world. And you can see for miles and miles around you. Also, with all of the heavens above you, you may have a blue sky with the sun shining on you beautifully. You may have more of a universal view with the stars all around you. Whatever feels right to you, whatever you notice comes to you. And in this place, we open to attuning ourselves to the fullness of who we are, to our full potential, to the fullness of our being, to allowing ourselves to reach bravely into the unknown. And as we do this, we can also invite Saint Germain to join us, the Ascended Master Saint Germain, who is an ascended master, different from an archangel. He's the archangels being beings of light who have generally not been in human form or in form at all, and are connected directly with our Creator and the purity of love. Saint Germain is a being who has experienced lives on the physical plane and has ascended, and now is serving humanity in this time of the Great Awakening. So we can invite him to join us. And his energy is often associated with the violet flame, beautiful violet light, however you imagine it. Just asking him to join you if you wish, and surrounding ourselves with that beautiful violet light. And recently I was exploring what some say is the highest, actually, the highest frequency of violet light, which is ultraviolet light. So we might want to invite ourselves or invite the energy of that ultraviolet light to surround us. And one of the wonderful things about the violet flame or the ultraviolet light is that it has the ability to transmute, you could say, coarse coarse materials into gold, or to coarse energies into higher frequencies of light for us. So this is a time when you can just ask, and you can also ask for grace to help you to release any energies that may be keeping you stuck, which may relate to fears or apprehensions or anxieties, anger, whatever it is. You can focus on something specific or just ask in general to be attuned to your highest light and feel that ultraviolet. I'll talk about it as ultraviolet light. You can feel it all around you, flowing through all of the layers of your energy field and then into your body and all of the cells of your body. Feels like it's just transmuting whatever it can, whatever is not serving you, that can be released with grace, with harmony, with intention. And opening to a version of yourself, maybe a version of yourself that's completely new today. It's a new moon, it's a new summer energy coming in. And it feels like many of us are being called to open to something that is completely new for us. It's not a time for standing still on the path. It's a time for moving bravely forward. And there might be, along with that, there might be sparkles of light coming in. We can also invite Archangel Raziel to join us. He's like the magician of the angelic realms. And he's often experienced as a rainbow of light. So you could experience that rainbow of light, and I experience it as rainbows, sparkling rainbows of light. And allowing yourself to expand out, feeling your energy expand, feeling yourself free. How it feels to free yourself of having to bend to other people's potential judgments, what we think people might think of us, even, not that they even do. And just feeling drawn to the creativity that lies within us, the magic, the mysteries that are emerging. And maybe there's a message from your own soul or from Archangel Michael or Saint Germain about your path. Just open to what that might be too. And feel the strength of your presence. And then the strength of the presence of all of those around you who are supportive of you at this time, standing together. And looking up, maybe you can see the stars above. And just open to the almost infinite expansiveness of the universe. Recognizing that your potential is similar, that there is so much expansiveness that is available for us, which involves really shedding those old worn out ideas of what reality is about and what we need to do to be human, which may include like making ourselves fit in so that we're invisible, making ourselves limit our perspectives on what is possible for us because those around us physically may not recognize for themselves either what is possible. And just opening to our divinity, our magnificence. We are magnificent spiritual beings. And we're here to share this light, whatever our unique light is, with the world. And again, it makes me think, just imagining if all of us turn down our light to fit in. Just imagine the light looking at the world, like the globe, how much light there would be in the world. And if we open to the brightness, the fullness of our light, and the fullness of what we have to offer to the world, what we uniquely have to share, what that impact is on the light shining around the world. And what that means, what the choice means, what the choice we have means. And from this perspective, also just embracing that wholeness of who you are. How can you come back to this? Just ask yourself, maybe, is there a word? Is there a color? Is there a sound? Maybe a musical sound that will bring you back to this place anytime, because we can't anchor, as there's that term anchoring, we can anchor a state in our consciousness so that we can return to it with ease. And if this is something you want to be able to remember where you are now, you have that opportunity. And with that, I want to thank all of the beings of light who are around us, and particularly Archangel Michael and Saint Germain and Raziel, Archangel Raziel, and bringing back with us, maybe we have something, a representation of this, like I see in my hand a star, a star that came down from the universe for me to take back. Just a bright light. And then we can imagine coming back now into our seats, grounding ourselves to Mother Earth and thanking Mother Earth for supporting us here. Just sending our love down to the center of the earth and feeling what we receive back from the Mother Earth too. And then breathing in more active energy to bring us back to our normal waking states. And taking your time, just breathing in that active energy. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. Lewis said, and the image was a beautiful rose, opening, blooming, and closing and opening again. It's white light. Pink and darker in the corners of the petals. Yes. Yeah, white white roses with little pink borders. Those are beautiful.
Lovely. They're beautiful. It's interesting. I experienced Saint Germain's flame very differently today. It almost felt like I was stepping down, and I saw a lot of people stepping down into what looked at first like a pool of water, but it was actually just a big pool of light. And as we were walking across this pool of light, it's streaming down, this ultraviolet light, and we step out of the pool on the other side and we're larger, and we're these big luminescent golden bodies with these rainbow colors. It
Wow.
was really interesting. It was like we had to walk in with our clothes and all of our trappings, and when we came out, we were these gold beings with all of these rainbow colors. It was like, and much larger. So that was really interesting. It was like seeing everybody's true light finally shining without all the trappings that we walked into the pool with, you know, all these things that dim our light. So it was
Right.
really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Really beautiful.
Yeah. And I see Babs is with us. She says, lovely being with you, ladies. Yes, thank you, Babs, for being with us. And Sharon Williamson, after the meditation, she said, ah. And Lula said, the message I got was believe in your beauty. That's a wonderful one for all of us. So believe in your beauty. Yeah. So that was wonderful. And I think hopefully it helped us to clarify how important our light is to the world. If you again imagine the world, if we dim our light, you know, just imagine the planet and what the light in the world looks like, versus if we expand and brighten our light, what the planet looks like and how that really affects everything on the planet.
Yeah, it's beautiful energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes me think also of all of the little nature spirits and the big nature spirits, the nature spirits who are supporting us, and they're wondering, well, why are they being so mean? Why is all this happening? Why are they not supporting the planet? When actually it would be very natural for us to all do that.
Right, right. Yeah.
Because it's all part of it. It is, I think, connecting with our full range of resources. Also, it does include having an awareness of the angels and the masters and the nature spirits, all as part of our daily experience of our reality, because that's what it is. It's just we shut ourselves down and close off all of that, the most magnificent and beautiful parts of it.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
Oh, that feels so good.
It does. It was so beautiful. I'm trying to get fully back here. I'm still
Right.
pretty.
Yeah, I think I think that ultraviolet light also it's a pretty lofty kind of a place to be. So just need to really focus on grounding yourself and maybe having a little water. I think I'll bring some water. I just don't know what else to say about all of this.
The meditation was so lovely. It's just such a wonderful energy. I just feel like, I feel like Sharon said,
right. And sometimes it does feel like, what else can you say? So maybe from there, Gretchen, would you like to share a little bit about how people can connect with you and what's going on in your world?
Sure. Thank you, Jane. People can connect with me on my website or here on Facebook. I'm Gretchen Comer, or Spiral Journey. And my website address is spiraljourney.net. And right now I'm getting ready to launch a couple new programs over the next couple of months. So please stop by my homepage and see what that's all about. One is going to be for ancestral healing, and another is for activating your spiritual gifts. So I'm really excited. The women that I've been working with are making amazing breakthroughs, and it's just really exciting work. So please stop by. Love to have you there.
Wonderful. Sounds great. And for Awakenings Institute, we have a free resource kit for light workers. If you haven't seen that yet, it has a variety. It has an EFT video. We call it the Happy Tap video to lift your spirits and release, and some information about the power of your soul and other spiritual resources. It's at tinyurl.com. We use that because our URLs are long. /spiritual-kit. And Lula says, amazing programs, Gretchen Comer.
Thank you, Lula.
We also have, excuse me, my husband Philip and I have put out a book called The Solution: Make a Difference and Change the World with the Power of Love, which it's a free book for people to read and to pass out to people who might not read this kind of thing. I think it's designed in a way that it provides proof from a spiritual perspective, scientific perspective, practical perspective of the value of opening to love, and presumably having less divisiveness in the world. So you can connect with that at tinyurl.com/444, and that's the number 4 3 times -solution. So that gives you some good ideas of things to, and Lula says, what a magnificent book.
It really is. If you haven't read it, please do. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's simple, and it just, I
Yeah.
mean, the fact about, if you compare living in a place of love with living in a place of stress and anger and all of that, there are so many benefits just for being in the world, and not to mention all of the potential of it. Yeah, thank you, Gretchen. You can also support the circle by following our page on Facebook, facebook.com/awakeningscircle. You can share this video with your friends on Facebook and get the word out to more people, have more people experience something like the meditation and the things we just experienced. And you can invite your friends to join you in the circle, and then you have something to talk about and share your experiences. So, and which brings back, remember the Great Gathering, how important these things are, having a community of people around you who are supportive. So the final thing that we do every week is send that love and light that we have gathered collectively out into the future, into the coming week. And you can also send it into the past. Ask for grace to heal your past and bring light to it. So it's all through your timeline. And then, you know, as you move into the week ahead, that love is there for you. So have a wonderful week, everyone. And we'll see you next week. We'll have Gretchen and Lula and me. So I'm really looking forward to that. Same time, same place. Have a wonderful week.